Leverage will need to get straighter.
Yep.
Club face position at the top. At this point in time, that's extraordinarily open. That club face we should see. I'll put somebody up there in a second, but it should be more like that. Okay. That's a lot to do with your address position and where these are placed on there, and that's why your wedge play is probably not as successful as what we'd like it to be. Okay. And then from there, you do a pretty good job on the way down. It's all pretty good. You're clearly a little bit tight through your left hip, so it doesn't want to push into there.
Yeah, and we're still working on my back as well.
And that's fine. I'm happy with that. But what you'll start to see, our impact alignments will change just a little. And if I take that stuff away, once again, when we start talking leverage, that's probably lost a little bit of energy there.
Okay.
So you when we start looking at then where the path of the golf club, so that grey line is over the top of that basket that we just talked about. So that little number there will possibly get a little less than that, closer to 0.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be spot on. Can be a little bit one way, a little bit the other, but that's a fairly significant amount across it.
Is that?
So then by the time you get to then driver, you will have a massive banana in your driver.
Okay.
And you'll have to work really hard to not have that. Okay, so I would rather see that being a little bit closer to 0.
Yep.
There's quite a number of contributing factors why that's doing that. So, I'm okay with that for the time being. So as we start to then look at how we work on getting those impact alignments a little bit better, we are certainly going to talk about pitching it a lot. Understanding what that is, what that feel is, where it comes from, getting you to feel it each time you come down and practice.
Yep.
And then you'll start changing what the ball does and how it feels off the club face and how it reacts and those types of things. Okay. So if I go and put in here, let me go and find. So already you see these guys.
Yeah, it's right down.
Yeah. And then as they start
So what is he hitting there?
he's hitting. That is a pitching wedge by the look of it.
So that's really far up in the stance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. For various reasons. My tendencies and my preference will be further forward than further back, for a couple of different reasons. Lowest point of the golf swing, a couple of little things like that. But we start to see it. There's not as many things that can affect it in my world, from where I like it. Okay, and then we start to see the leverage exactly the same, just a little bit further forward because we don't get straight on impact there. Okay.
It's amazing too. Like I am thinking that I'm restricting my the club head feels like it's up to there.
Yeah.
Whereas it is.
And that will always be the same, mate. We all think the same.
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned. I'm not really swinging it back that far. Well, guess what? Yeah. And that's no problem. We could never get you to there, so I'm okay with that. We'll feel like this is a little bit steeper, so the shoulder goes down just a little bit more. But what I'm really more interested about how you're striking the golf ball. All of this is kind of, I wouldn't say insignificant, but it's really what happens then on the way down and how it works, through that little area, through here. That's more important than what goes on up here because we can reorganise ourselves on the way down, to a certain degree.
Because I'm my biomechanics a little bit. Believe it or not.
But the thing is, mate, there's enough movement there that I should be able to get you to do what we want you to do.
Okay.
The usual story. If I'm any good at what I do, well, we should organise ourselves in there, and I should be able to explain it enough to get it in there, and you experience it then, and then you understand what you've got to go away and work on.
Yep.
Okay. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's a couple of little areas that we'd like to enhance and improve, but essentially the movement pattern itself is pretty freaking good.
Okay.
Okay. I'm okay with
So
that.
we're not starting with that.
No, hell no. And when we start to then, here's in full motion, you're not trying to beat the bejesus out of it. It's pretty good. We're all pretty happy with that.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.